Hi. Oh my god. Fighting with my computer. I don't even know if I can go live with this damn video game. I want to. But like I don't know. And one person join and drop out. They're just like, what the fuck is this? I guess I shouldn't be doing that like within the first minute of doing this. Anywho. Anyway. I don't know really what I'm doing. Because what I want to do is put on Redemption. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. My plan was to put on Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, but my live recording doesn't want to record a screen. It only wants to record me. So not really sure what I'm gonna do there. Kind of sucks, but also I don't know. Plus, my computer is saying I don't have this game, which is dumb because I've played this game on this computer many, many times. So, I'll try to figure this out. But until then, we can just hang out if we want. This is what I look like. I'm sorry, this is what you're getting. So, yeah, apparently I have to re-download anyway. So I'll respond to comments if you guys want to talk. Oh my god, this past few months have sucked like big time. We got hit by like 2 hurricanes in a row. What's it? And then they ask why we pick mystics rather than technomancers. Can't rely, right? Completely agree. But yeah, no, we got hit by like 2 hurricanes in a row, and like I don't know, just trying to catch up because it was like hurricanes followed by holidays. Everything that's bad starts with an H, apparently. But last night was pretty cool. Got to sit around with some friends, bonfire. Good night. Hope everybody had a good New Year's. So right now I'm just fighting with Redemption to see if I can even get to work, and also trying to see why I can't see it back here at all. I don't know. I don't not really sure how. This is how I talk, by the way. I talk, I start sentences, and I black out. Not really sure how to fix the not being able to actually show the game, because that's what I wanted to do. Was I wanted to maybe like shrink myself real tiny and do a game, but maybe I just can't. I think YouTube's sucking at the moment. Oh, I got a like. That's nice. I don't understand why, but thank you. We'll see what this is. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something else. Dogs. There's dogs barking. I'm sure you guys can hear that. What's that? Nightmare. We don't get extreme weather events. I am. Yeah, no, we're safe. We got out of it fine. We actually didn't. We actually didn't have any major damage or anything. It was like we didn't have power for like 2 weeks. But that was just because the entire area didn't have power for 2 weeks. But yeah, no, we were fine. We just set up all of our camping stuff in the backyard and cooked outside and stuff like that. I think the weirdest thing that actually happened is I've had a cat forever. Minerva, my cat, has been with me very, very long time. Fun story. She has been with me at least 13 years, at least. But I'm pretty sure she's actually a cat that I had before that, years before. So I'm pretty sure this cat is like some mystical being that follows me from place to place to place. And she and I were sitting on the couch when we didn't have any power, and we're just hanging out. And then we have an abundance of beasts in my house. This is a very animalism friendly household, and we're sitting there, and like all of the dogs just come rushing into the house because we have 6 freaking dogs in my house. But like all of the dogs come running into the house, and they jump on the couch, and it like shakes and everything. And my cat just looks at me, and she just had this look of, yeah, I'm done with this. And like that was literally the last time I saw my cat. Not really sure what happened. Not really sure how she got outside of the house. She's extremely old, so like the first few days she was gone, I kind of like expected to start smelling something after a little while, like she had finally decided it was time for her to die. But she's just gone. I have no idea where the hell my cat went. It has been months at this point, and she's just gone. I'm pretty sure what she does though is she comes into my life when I need her. She hangs out for a few years and then disappears. And in a few years she'll be back. That's the way that I feel about this situation. I went looking all over the place, but I never saw her again. But yeah, she's out there somewhere in the world. So if anybody sees a black cat running around who has a purpose, that's her. Hi there. Hi there. Was going to play Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, but for some reason I can't get it. It doesn't want to be here. I had to download it again on my computer, and apparently it was already there because I hit download, and then it was like done like 30 seconds later. But for some reason I can't get it here. So if you guys want to hang out, I'm all up for hanging out. Answer whatever questions you guys have, and just talk about what we've been doing, what we're planning for the next year. It's actually what I was going to do anyway, was hang out with you guys and talk about what life is going to look like, where this channel is going, and all that stuff. I just wanted Vampire in the background, not a green sheet, because it's hideous. In fact, let's get rid of this. I don't like it. I want to hang out, but I don't want this. Okay. Good. I can turn my ceiling fan back on anyway, which does not want to work. Ugh. What's going on? Warriors. Hello, fellow K-Knights. Greetings, Kindred. Yes. Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maketch, and welcome to a live stream that is not going to happen the way that I wanted it to. I wanted to play Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. I'm going to have to mess around with this thing a little bit to find out how I can live stream that, because I want to live stream VTM games. I was actually thinking about that, is like I want to have more video game content. I don't want to like back off the RPG content or anything like that. I want you guys have shown me what you like on that, and I want to keep doing that. I want to keep doing reviews and Metaplot Mondays and all that stuff. But I would like to like pick a day of the week and just be like, we're gonna play a video game today, because that'd be fun. And I don't get to do that as often as I would like to. I did have a question. Was that? Oh, Merita. Chat. Happy New Year, Merita. We were actually talking about you last night. Somebody asked about the somebody I was hanging out with last night asked about the Sabbat book reaction videos, because they thought it was funny, and yeah, that was fun. I had a lot of fun. I had a great time meeting you. Been true. Sadly, you're quick done with World of Darkness games. You know what? That's true when it comes to mainline story, but there's always side plots. There's always side plots, and there's always different challenges you can do for yourself. I don't know if any of you have actually stopped and watched the playthroughs that I did of most of the clans on Bloodlines that I did, but we were coming up with fun challenges. Like for the Nosferatu, it was like, since we didn't have Mask of a Thousand Faces, we just couldn't be seen by them, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Being able to like try to get through the game. It made the game a lot shorter, but it also made the game a lot harder. Plus, I was playing them as characters that I have played in tabletop and LARP. So not only did I get to go, okay, this is the mindset of this character and why I'm doing it like this, I also got to do specifically how this character would react to specific situations. I was trying to get all the different endings. Like for the Toreador, I was like, anytime the Kwai Jin popped up, I was just like, and I'm going to be your best friend, because I was trying to get the Kwai Jin ending, which I don't think I actually did. I don't think that actually came up. There's also a question I wanted to put to you guys. I'm probably gonna put it on the community, but I actually care about the people who showed up here to watch the game that I'm obviously not going to be able to play. But my Serendipity's daughter, Kieran, got me a Yule gift, a Christmas gift, whatever. We don't celebrate Christmas; we celebrate Yule here. But she got me a video game, and it's not Vampire the Masquerade, but I got to play like an hour of it with her, like sitting over my shoulder and like laughing her ass off the whole time. And it is seriously Malkavian the Fever Dream. Have any of you ever heard of the game Disco Elysium? It's amazing. It's amazing, and I really want to play it here, because even when I first started the channel, I said that I was going to do vampire and vampire adjacent stuff. I was going to do like any World of Darkness because those kind of things can help you to think of stories that you want to run. Those kind of things are going to help you come up with plot ideas. And Disco Elysium will help you come up with plot ideas. It's like set in the 1950s, and it's like it's all over the place. You get yelled at by your necktie. It's really weird. Let's see. Oh, hell yeah, sure. Okay, well, I'm considering playing it on here. It has Elysium in the name, so you have my attention. That's nice. That's great. I love that. So yeah, we're probably gonna play when I can get this figured out. So I guess this is we'll just call this the epilogue. We're gonna call this the prologue. Dude, I was up so late last night. Anyway, we're gonna call this the prologue to the gaming that I'm gonna start, and hopefully it can be a once a week kind of thing. I can just like, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out exactly how this is gonna work. I don't know if the trouble's on my side or if the trouble's on YouTube's side. I really don't care. I'm sure it's something that can be fixed. There's people out there who are doing this right now. I mean, look at individuals like Luke the Notable and like the multitude of other video gamers on YouTube, which I am not really a video gamer on YouTube, but I'm sure I can figure it out. But the one thing that I think I'll steer away from, unless I get any specific requests, is the interactive novels that World of Darkness is putting out. I love them. I think they're great. Do you guys think they make good content? That's really the question that I have, is do they make good content? Because me and my dyslexic ass reading multiple choice like books, is that very entertaining? I do not know. I know that I wouldn't want to watch it, but if you guys do, I guess. We did play we did play Werewolf the Apocalypse Heart of the Forest, which was so beautiful, but it was also again one of those that's what I mean by like not like the online novels. Um so Parliament of Knives and things like that kind of fit into that category. So that's 100% up to you guys. I think I'm just gonna talk and hang out with you guys and answer whatever questions until we hit 0 people here. Right now, there's 4, and there could be more. You guys do what you want. I'll hang out with you guys as long as you want to hang out. I'm sorry this did not turn out the way that I wanted it to, but like so far, that's how last year ended. So let's see how this year begins. So how have you all been? Happy New Year, and what do you guys want to talk about, basically? Because this did not go the way I wanted it to. I do have Redemption ready to be played now. Thank God. I said that I didn't have it, but then as soon as I started recording it, I started being ready to play anyway. I want to play this game so much. Eat too much as always. All right. You ate too much as always, or you're telling me to eat too much as always? Because I've been better. I have been better. Um, I really want to get back into stuff. Novel games could make beautiful backgrounds. New York games are very artsy. I agree. I thought that Coteries of New York and Shadows of New York, they're very beautiful games, but I was getting caught up on it's probably just like self-consciousness when it comes to me, because dyslexia kind of just makes me not want to read much when it comes to that kind of thing. When there's stuff moving around and I can point and click and shoot things or beat things up, then I feel a little bit better about my ability to keep interest on that one. Uh, I really wish that I could play. I want to play Vampire. I want to play Vampire. Um, so fun thing. I got a copyright. I got a copyright notice, not a copyright strike. I got a copyright notice on my channel for the Trinity video that I put up, because apparently one of the free songs, the free use songs that I have on the software I use for editing got copywritten. And I think it's funny because they actually pulled out the song and the artist, but those are supposed to be free to use stuff. So I don't know. I've got friends who have been offering to do music for the channel, so maybe I'm going to cape them up on that. Never played the novelization style games, but that isn't my normal interest. You know what? I kind of agree with you. I kind of want to be absorbed into the matrix of the game itself. I want to like the very first Vampire the Masquerade game I ever played as a video game was Redemption, which is what I had planned here. But it has kind of like a D&D feel to it. You get sucked into the game, and it's just a point and click, but it's still a lot of fun. Bloodlines is obviously a massive upgrade in quality, and even that one's still buggy as hell. But like, still, it's the story that wraps you in, and that's what I want. I try getting into the narrative plays, the novelization plays, but like I have such a hard time just getting into it because of words. I have to concentrate on it harder than I would anything else because of the dyslexia thing. And I got to thank World of Darkness and all the books, because that's actually where I started getting interested in reading anyway, and I've improved massively. Let's see. New York games are good. My problem is no voice line. I hope more fluff plot lines involved. Yeah, see, and that's the thing, is I need the voices to get myself in there too. Yesterday I was up till morning cleaning dishes, prospects for their new W5 novel. Go find Amusing. Merita, I agree. I have a hard time with with desire of replay. I like how the novelizations do have multiple endings, and they do like they'll give you like 5 or 6 choices and a thing, so that like you could have massive replayability in those novelizations if you can get into them. And I think that's my problem. As for Werewolf 5, oh my God, I'm so excited about Werewolf 5. I want to see where this goes. I want to take some time with the Thicker Than Water troop and actually play in our Portland setting with werewolves. We've been on hold all December just because I have so much backed up work of editing stuff to do, and I just haven't. I'm so behind, and I haven't had like the ability or completely transparency, the drive to do it. But we will get there. Hello, Skeleton King. How are you? Remember playing Bloodlines, and that other than bugginess is. I agree. I think some of the charm of Bloodlines is their bugginess. Have any of you guys ever played like I think it was called Werewolf the Apocalypse Heart of Gaia? It was horrible, but it's so much fun at the same time. You play this teenage kid who turns into a werewolf, and it's just like it's one big acid trip. And I guess if you stop and think about it, that's how werewolf should be. It should be one big acid trip. Still waiting for news on Bloodlines 2. Yeah, I know. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Like, I really hope. I really, really hope we do get to see Bloodlines 2. I hear it's out. Like, it's done. It's like going through final polishing and stuff. But from what I understand, the game's playable. It's there. It's ready. I don't know if they're just like trying to clean up things to avoid, I don't know, law problems or something like that to not tick off the people who were working on it that got canned repeatedly. But I don't know. We'll see in the future. God, the camera sucks. I'm all blurry again. Illusion of the choices are meaningless. The great plot. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if it's an illusion of choice because there are different endings. And I'm not talking about like Redemption had 3 different endings, the good ending, the bad ending, and the neutral ending. There does seem to be with the and I mean I could be completely wrong because I've always had a hard time playing through the narrative games. I don't know. Is there an illusion of choice? Do they all end the same way no matter what choice you take? If anybody's played through it multiple times, I'd like to know. Uh, Everyone is waiting for VTM Bloodlines 2. COVID probably killed it. I don't know. Do you think COVID killed it? I mean, that's kind of a thing that where you could work from home. I mean, obviously not like I don't know. There's been so many different groups working on this. Damn, I'm tired of being so low. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know if COVID killed it. No voices. Played Morrowind most of the time. Have no problems. The massive issues. Fully understand. Um, I can understand that, especially if it's like an English game or if it's a game that does not have the option for other languages. I know like doing voice acting, that's got to be a real pain in the ass if you're trying to provide for so many different groups of people um with different languages and stuff. And the again, it's got to be hard for translating for written work too. So I can understand that. My seriously is written. I have such a hard time keeping up with that. I mean, I'm sure you can tell that while I'm reading the comments that like, hey, I'm not blurry anymore. But I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can see that while I'm reading these. I'm glad there's only 8 people here because I wouldn't be able to keep up if like it was everybody talking at once. Let's see. Do you trust me? I think I don't know. I want to see more Bloodlines 2 stuff. We'll see if it comes out ever. Teenage Werewolf Acid Trip. We had a story arc in Vampire where we had to deal with such a scenario. You know what? Werewolf has such a great way of being that like out of control D&D game. Um, I've always had problems with Werewolf. So side tangent here. I've always had an issue with Werewolf because it's meant to be the most spiritual of the games. Um, and most people that I have dealt with, and again, I'm talking about my experience, I'm not talking about everybody out there, but most people that I have dealt with who have played Werewolf or have ran Werewolf have just always been this it's murder hobo. That's all they do is they just run around and they kill people and they cause problems and they blow stuff up and it's like kill first, ask questions later. Where I can understand that is a part of Werewolf, but like their spirituality should be the key essence of what Werewolf should be. And I don't know. I always thought that like the perfect werewolf game would actually be the plot line to Stephen King's It. Like you come in as cubs and you have to fight, and let's just completely be honest, Pennywise is a Nexus crawler. Um, you have to come in and fight it, and then you have to come back later on as like rank 4s, rank 5s, and come back and fight it again. I just always thought that would be amazing. Let's see. In Bloodlines 2, it had a hard time, but it's not finished. It's simply after Omega build, base build. There's just so much back and forth with Bloodlines 2. The people who are making this game have been sacked. We apologize. Okay. VTM groups also tend to go into Monty Python tangents, and I see that's where that was going. We're going to start talking about llamas after that. Exhausted players play it. Play it. However, the real issue is bad management, which I know that Paradox will not let slide because they own World of Darkness. You know what? Maybe that is actually the case because I don't know. I'm not there, so I don't know. I think it's not totally dead, just has massive drawbacks for the team change. You know what? V5 in general has had the exact same issue. I have never again, I don't pay that much attention to the outside stuff, but I've never seen so many regime changes when it comes to games. And this entire new iteration of World of Darkness is just a revolving door of artists. And I love the fact that they're getting the community involved in things now. Like we've got people who are gamers who are in it. My good friend Daviga, the guy who plays several of the characters in my game, he loves V20. He loves Vampire the Masquerade 20th Anniversary Edition. We played it for a very long time, and he's actually put in some work, not directly for them, but a lot of the updates to the way thaumaturgy works are things that he did. And he's even quoted in the book. He's when you get to the thaumaturgy section of the V2 book, the second edition of 20th Anniversary, when you get into that, his is the at the very beginning where it talks about like do not go into this room, and it's quoted Dr. North. That's Daviga. And he says that the reason why V20 is so superior is because it's got thaumaturgy that was written by people who like to play with thaumaturgy, and it's not just people who are trying to make something that looks good. And I gotta completely agree that the thaumaturgy system in V20 is so much better than most other things. There's just so much to it. Sorry, side tangent. Their biggest cake, if it ruined, it'd be the worst. Is the fight against the worm? You are a warrior of Gaia, so fight is the only path left. You know what? I agree on one standpoint, and that's why I highly love what I have heard about W5. And the reason I love W5 is, from what I've seen, is that they are focusing on how the war's over, how they've lost, and it's not about protecting anything. It's about avenging. It's about seeking revenge for Gaia. And that is going to be so much fun. The death throws when you know you've already lost are the most dangerous, and werewolves are going to be so much more fun to play, in my opinion, with this new outlook that they're not trying to save Gaia, but they're trying to avenge her. And I mean, with the way that things work in the world of darkness, they could actually end up reviving Gaia. Tragic behind it, I find. And now for something completely different. Yes, thank you, Jason. Kill first, ask later is the motto of the Red Talons, basically, especially when dealing with Hommids. You know what? You're not wrong on that one. I'm actually kind of surprised that the Red Talons are still technically going to be playable characters when they took away the get. I understand that they took away the get because of ideological issues, you could say. And I've actually experienced this myself. People who are using werewolf as a cover to hang out and be racist assholes together. And it's bull. It's such bull. It's one of those things where the loudest and stupidest people ruined it for the rest of us, because there's so much rich history in non-racist asshole areas. But like there Nordic legend has so much beautiful what could be used as werewolf legend, and now it's all background. Like the get's still there. They've got the whole like, we smell worm everywhere. Where is it? You don't smell it, you're obviously worm, so we're quitting. They're there, but they're so far in the background, and it's sad. But I mean, that's just me. I'm sure there's other people who lament other changes that we're seeing in werewolf. What else? If I remove the magic from vampire, it is more about spookiness, in my opinion. You know what? There's actually a good amount of Thom. There's not as much. I'm not at all defending the fact that like Thom's better or anything like that. But there's a difference now between thaumaturgy and blood sorcery. I like, and I know a lot of people don't, and I'm not here to start an argument over it, but I like the idea that Quietus is blood sorcery. And the reason I like that though is because it, not that they need it, but it gives the Banu Hakim more reason to hate the Tremere. Because now it kind of looks like the Tremere popped up with this discipline. We're like, haha, look what we made up. And the Banu Hakim are just like, we've been doing that for freaking years, dude. You stole that from us. And they're like, nope, it's ours. It's ours. We did this. See, look at all the fun things that we can do with it. And that really fits into the Tremere's MO, especially with the story of them losing their magic over time. And that's why they were looking for a way to, prolong their lives, then fell ass backwards into the embrace. What I like about it is a lot of the things that players are doing to make it suit their games better. I was playing a game. I guess I'm still playing a game with one of my clients who he's freaking so inventive. But he showed me a book called Power Slaves, which is available on the Storyteller's Vault, which has all this different thaumaturgy. It has all this different. It has Khaldunism in it. It has Aku, and it has all the different brands of blood sorcery, and they're all amalgams of blood sorcery. And as the Zamitzi in the room, going to go ahead and pop out with this. The first thing that I noticed was the idea that blood sorcery amalgam protean was Khaldoonism. It's so pretty. And it actually has like the perfect usage to show the ways of Khaldoonism and also the Krana. For those of you who follow blood sorcery enough, the different types of Khaldoonism with that. It's presented so very well. So if you guys have not seen it, I do highly suggest Power Slaves. It's a great book. Storyteller's Vault. I've been working on my own version of the way thaumaturgy is meant to work, and amalgams is a thing, in my opinion. I'm going to state this out loud that it is January 1st, 2023. I have been working on this for several months. I have spoken with a few people about it, but my thoughts on this whole thing, I'm like copywriting myself just in case. I'm like dating it so that people know when this happened. My idea was that blood sorcery mixed with other disciplines could create your paths of thaumaturgy. So thaumaturgy is blood sorcery plus discipline. And like one of my favorite ones was the way Laura Flames would work. Not like Laura Flames, the ritual set in Cult of the Blood Gods, but the concept of going blood sorcery, amalgam, celerity. I'm using my friction from celerity to create sparks, to create flame, to create heat. And to do that, basically, you can have your thumb, you can have your blood sorcery, and then every level of celerity you get after that would count as your thaumaturgy path. So that you could have your regular blood sorcery, your path of blood. But anything else after that is an amalgam that basically prevents a character from being able to become a massive powerhouse of, look at me, I'm throwing fire and I get multiple actions per round with celerity and things like that. But that's, I'm not going to go too far into that. That's just something I've been working on. Let's see. Could this avenging theme not cause more murder hobos? Yeah, you know what? It definitely could, but that's why the spirituality of werewolf is so important, because you are going to have those werewolves who are so angry and running around and causing problems and beating things up, but they're eventually going to fall into Hirano. They are going to lose themselves to their beasts. And that's the point of the werewolf rites and the tradition of their community and things like that. It is one of those things where it's a hefty balance where you have to avenge, but you also have to purify at the same time. And especially since they're going for this balance act in New Werewolf, the fact that New Werewolf consists of, you can have things worm tainted. You can also have things wild tainted, and you can definitely have things Weaver tainted. The idea that you need to have that balance and not tip the scales in one way or the other. Okay. They just have to start with politicians for nice. Kibble. Get a Fenris. Hashtag get a Fenris thematic. I like the get. I like anything Nordic. I mean, those of you who have followed me long enough will know that. Okay, you know me, and we both agree on one thing about racism in the game. Only the game, not outside the book. Other than that, show yourself to the door. I completely agree. I don't tolerate that shit at my table. I don't tolerate that shit in my LARPs. I have removed people from game because I've noticed them coming in and going, oh, I'm going to play this so I can treat people like crap because I want to. I have also played racists in game. I've also allowed my players to play racists in game because it's something that they needed to work out. One such as I had the classic neo-Nazi Brujah. I don't know why I did that. She was playing a neo-Nazi Brujah. And it was very interesting because she got caught up in this coterie, and the leader of the coterie was a Jewish Brujah. And nobody really knew about. He didn't run around just like smack people with a menorah or anything like that. But it was his deep-seated belief. It was how he lived his life, and they clashed a lot. And towards the end, he ended up saving her life, and she left to clear her head, and that was the last time we ever saw her, which was sad because I felt like it was a character that was going to grow a redemption arc with everything that was going on. Blood sorcery made by Banu Hakim. None can change my mind. The blood sorcery was made by. Oh, if you. Okay, look, I'm not the person who's going to be like the Book of Nod is 100% right, because it sure as hell is not. But in the book where it's discussing the disciplines, it does talk about how Cain discovered the book of the path of blood and created all other paths from it. I really do think that all disciplines are accessible from Cain into the clans. And the Banu Hakim took blood sorcery. That's how it is. I'm not sure how they divided it up. I'm not sure if it was the blood trickling down or if he actually sat down and went, and you have a discipline, and you have a discipline, and you have a discipline. I don't know. But it does seem to me that all disciplines were created in that fashion. They went out through the clans, and there's no reason why the Tremere are just going to spontaneously come up with a new discipline. I just don't see it. Anything else is an amalgam of something, and I think I really like V5 for that purpose. I know a lot of people are just like, I miss the 8 cardinal disciplines, and then there's all the special ones. And it's like, why aren't the special ones amalgams of some fashion? And I like how V5 has taken that. Let's see. The bad part about that thought, the Banu Hakim Tremere, is my 2 favorite characters each. I mean, there's shit's gonna get in the way. I mean, it's better in V20, but V5 was made to bring more people to the game, so it makes sense to make it easy at first. Expansion on. You know what? That's absolutely right. Right. I mean, there is plot line in V5 that explains away what happened to thaumaturgy. And it's not like I was building up this huge thing where like, oh well, the Vienna Chantry blew up, so therefore, of course they lost their power. Their power source is gone. But really, V5 focuses on neonates. Like everybody who comes into the game is supposed to be a neonate. And it's not that those paths of enlightenment don't get me started on that. It's not that those paths of thaumaturgy don't exist anymore. It's that the very few remaining elders who still have it aren't teaching anybody. That's basically it, is that these are not natural internal things that pop up. No baby Tremere is going to sit there and go, well, what are we doing today? Oh, fire, accident. No, they have to be taught how to expend their blood in a specific way to make that work. And it works. It works because now, like, as Merta was saying, if they do add an expansion, you could fight some big bad Tremere who's hoarding a library, who has the ability to teach, or maybe you gain maybe you gain a mentor in some fashion, and they are able to teach you how to use thaumaturgy and how to expand the abilities you already have. And I think that Path of the Blood Gods, Cults of the Blood Gods, it kind of shows into that, but like a lot of everything else is, they're just they're rituals. They're rituals, and I like the idea of the paths being amalgams. But that, again, that's just me. Let's see. I can see Protean blood sorcery amalgam. Seriously, it's beautifully written out. It's amazing. In fact, this is not a book review of any kind. Sorry if I go away for a second. I don't know what's gonna happen if I do this. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Am I still here? Okay, so Power Slaves, which can be found on the which can be found on the Storyteller's Vault. It's just freaking amazing. It's got Path of Conjuring in it. It's got Elemental Mastery. I've pulled it up because I wanted to look at it for a second. I'm pulling up pulling up Khaldoonism. The pictures in here are amazing. First off, the art that they chose, technomancy is in this. It's all really well written and presented, and the artwork that they have is just so cool. Khaldoonic sorcery. So it's a sorcery type masquerade threat. It's low to high. It is a sanguine resonance. Everything is Protean 3. You have to have Earth Meld as a prerequisite to learn this because the spirits are talking to you and teaching you how to use this. The first thing that they have is Whispers of the Wind. You can actually whisper into the wind and send something off to somebody. They can whisper back. It's easy. It's just a composure plus blood sorcery test. I want to do a full report on this thing for you guys, specifically the Khaldoonism. So it's so cool. They even have the rituals, which the rituals are set up on your ways. And then at the very end of the book, the writers of this thing did such a good job. Yeah, some of the art that's in here, you can definitely tell are like retextured pictures from movies or just stock photos and stuff. There's a Vigo the Carpathian is actually in here from Ghostbusters 2. But the Khaldoonic Sorcerer lore sheet is really, really good. It still bothers me that they say Khaldoonic Sorcerer. It should be Khaldoonism or Khaldoon, but that's just me being nitpicky. But they have a Khaldoonic Sorcerer. They have a Khaldoonic Sorcerer lore sheet. They have a House Ipsissimus lore sheet. The Book of Going Forth by Night lore sheet. Scion of Emir lore sheet. It's a beautiful thing. Highly suggest you looking at it. And I'll stop going off on a tangent about this book that I'm not looking at just right now. Is there something that the Tremere did not steal? Not to my knowledge. I mean, they earned the scorn of everybody else, if you want to count that. Heat, blood sorcery, great idea. Oh, kinetic. This is what I'm talking about, people. I'm dyslexic. I'm surprised that I can read what you guys are saying on the normal date. Anyway. Forgive me for saying this, but blood sorcery for Seer equals blood sorcery merged with presence. I could definitely blood sorcery mixed with presence. I said that mastery over the mortal shell should be blood sorcery plus dominate. Goatbread06 just wanted to say hi. Thank you, Goatbread. If you're still on here, you might have hopped on just to say hi and then leave. That's my son, people. That's my 16-year-old beautiful son who played Hunter the Reckoning and we had such a great time. I ran a PG-13 game, which, I mean, everybody was 16 and higher, or 15 and higher at the time, but we had so much fun. By the way, one of the new Glasswalker totems is Spider. We retained it. You know what? That's actually a really good point, Merita, but like take in consideration that, like I said before, they're going on this balance thing. What they're doing is making it so that the worm is not bad. The weaver is not bad. The wild is not bad. It's too much of any of those things that is going to be bad. So yes, we do have a weaver spirit being the Glasswalker's new thing. Where Vampire the Masquerade in 5th edition continued off the old story, Werewolf is a complete reimagining, which is so weird considering the fact that the games are so connected. But I'm also really excited to see exactly what's going to happen with that. Banu Hakim have Thom from Kane. In my thought process, the reason why they have blood sorcery, which they call Quietus is because of Cain, because that's in the Book of Nod. Again, the Book of Nod's complete garbage. It says that the Giovanni were the clan of death at the time. So a Malkavian wrote it. We'll just put it that way. And it did. That was Aristotle. I agree blood sorcery magic should be for everyone. In my mind, all kinds of vampire magic come from the same source, the blood itself. Agreed. And that's what Path of Blood is. In fact, fun little story. One of the big games that I ran before, I murdered the Tremere. Now I want to put this out there. I killed everything that was connected to the Tzimisce. I even killed the Tzimisce. And I know a lot of you guys would be really kind of shocked about that from hearing that from me. But like, I killed off Clan Tzimisce in one of the plot lines that I did, where I basically said that anything that had Vesistitude, that was a word that just beat me up. Anything that had a connection to Vesistitude just kind of like split open and died. So the Tremere died, the gargoyles all died, the Tzimisce died. I killed everything that had a contact with Vesistitude. And I allowed people to start bringing in old clan Tzimisce. But one of the things that I did is I had the Camarilla raid all the chantries, steal the books, and then pass thaumaturgy out by clan. So like the green path went to the Gangrel, and like Mastery of the Mortal Shell went over to the Ventrue. And so I split thaumaturgy up so that each clan had like a small collection of Thom they could play with. It was fun, and it opened up a lot of possibilities for gameplay. Let's see. The Venya, it wasn't just destroyed by the hunters. Oh, Vienna. Wow. Again, guys, dyslexia. But also it was led by Salat himself. Let's face it, Tremere lose, and he unleashes hell upon them. I think that I don't know if anybody's ever read the Gehenna books, the Gehenna, I cannot remember what they're actually called. But if you actually read like the gameplay Gehenna books, the storyline of how Salat takes over Tremere's body, it just wreaks havoc on the chantries is amazing. Auspex plus dominate equals possess somewhat hunters into. Yeah, no, I mean, you could always, I would definitely do that. Can you please show it to us? If you're talking about the book, if you're talking about the book, I mean, okay. If you're talking about Power Slaves, I can't do that. Somebody poured their heart and soul into that book. I can't just give away a PDF of that for free. I mean, that could be taking away somebody's rent money. That could be taking away somebody's food money. I just can't do it, unfortunately. I really wish I could, because I want everybody to see that book. It's beautiful. I do want to do a full review on it, though. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me pull that up real quick, and I'll find it. Storyteller's Vault. Storyteller's Vault. Sorry, I actually do get a lot of people who are like, hey, can you just give this? The answer is no. But yes, I will definitely share that right now. There you go. That is a link that I just put up a link to the Storyteller's Vault, taking you to Power Slave, so you guys can go directly to that. It should work. Let's hope that works. Okay. I wanted to tell you that if you ever, Daughter Cacophony, please make an avatar. I played a Son of Discord one time. That was really fun. I had a lot of fun with that. Plus, we were doing the whole like the daughters of Cacophony are hunting him down, trying to kill him thing. So it was a good fun character to play. If your vicissitude kills you, plotline. What happens to someone who diablerizes as a Tzimisce and got vicissitude? I killed everybody who had vicissitude. First off, I had one person who was playing as a Tzimisce character, or no, I had one person playing a Tremere character, and when they came up to me with the character and said they wanted to play it, I told them straight out. I was like, "Listen, you're gonna die with this character. It's not gonna be a test. You're just gonna die. Your character is going to be short-lived. You're taking the Dark Fate flaw. I'm very sorry. Do you still want to play it?" Like anybody who came up to me and said I'm playing a character with vicissitude connections in some fashion, Tremere included, I warned them. And I had one player who said, I really want to play this character. I don't care. And it took about 2 or 3 years to actually get to it because I always play the long game. But I told him straight out, I was like, his character dies. And as a thank you for everything that he did, I allowed him to bring in an old clan Tzimisce with Khaldunism, and I gave him a good chunk of his XP back. There was one player that I actually like. One of the NPCs that I was playing knew what was going to happen, and he taught her vicissitude on purpose to kill her, and like made her think he was training her for some higher purpose thing. And the very last thing that she saw was a text that said "Gotcha." The last thing he chose to do with his existence was like the final punchline that he was killing her as much as he was dying. And ha. That was fun. That's what happens when you take enemy in my game. You get that kind of crap. Okay, where are we? I have to go to dinner. By the way, Gortrix is back with Tremere. Good night, Merita. Thank you for joining us. You're such an awesome person, and I'm so glad that we know each other after that fun little back and forth we had on the Sabbat book a while ago. For my father didn't rise. You know what? I just assumed that you were asking for that, Skeleton King. Primarily because I do get a lot of people who ask for stuff like that, but I can't. Like if somebody pours their heart and soul into those books, I know you're not a thief, man. I know you're just awesome as it is. Like I love talking to you outside of this, so you're fun. Good luck, Mithras. This? Don't eat too much. Happy New Year. Oh my God. So anyway, that was fun. I went on a long tangent about a lot of different things there. That's not that I'm wanting to end anything. I'm having a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. It's only been an hour. So yeah, this upcoming, I need to get Metaplot Mondays going again. And get your I really want to finish the lore sheets. The lore sheets that I have done have been so flippin'. There's so many of them. There's just so many lore sheets, and I know there's a few on there that like kind of need to be redone. So that needs to be fixed because, truthfully, like, I think it's like the what's it called? What's her name? Karna. The Karna lore sheet is awful, and I need to fix it because like the audio sucks and things like that. One odd request, please. I will grant odd requests as much as I can. If I can grant it, I will grant it. I love the delay on things because like then I just sit here forever not saying anything. If I made a lore sheet, be kindly. Yeah, no. If any look, You guys have given me some amazing things to respond to, and I love looking at your personal lore sheets. If you want me to do a video on your stuff, I will do a video on your stuff. If you guys want me to just privately review it, I will privately review it. Just let me know, and I'm happy to do that. You mean something? Oh, no, 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 no. You know what? There's a couple lore sheets out there that I definitely don't 100% agree on, but I think the lore sheets are great. I think my content sucked. Um, Either I was just getting used to doing this and my music was too loud, or the volume was screwed up on something, or the video is just blurry or something like that. That's what I meant, not the lore sheet itself. I think the lore sheets are great. I have a whole bunch of comments and stuff like here that I have not answered, and I feel horrible because I've just been so busy that I think I'm gonna answer them written, but I think I'm gonna answer them right here between everybody talking. I couldn't get the Christoph Constantine lore sheet in a good format optic. I am kind of a hamster wheel. Dude, I love Christoph Constantine. I love the fact that we built him together. We need to do another one. That was so much fun. But also, Christoph has not made a showing yet in my game. And that's going to change. That is going to change very, very quickly. Right now, my game is on hold. Thicker Than Water is on hold because of how just hectic December has been. Everything that was happening in December fell on a Friday, and we had to just sit on our hands and not play for a little while. But we are currently working on the Sacrifice in the Chicago book, and then after that, we're heading back to Portland, and I'm pretty sure we are going to meet Christoph then. That needs to happen. I could have thrown him in Chicago. I realize that, but I don't know. There was already so much going on. I really just wanted to get to the story. All right. I recently got Vampire the Masquerade Classic Age Fall of Koth. Nice. If that's good, I haven't seen it yet. I love Dark Age stuff. I really want to run a Dark Age game with V5. That just sounds like so much fun. There's a little bit of tinkering you would have to do when it comes to like the Hecata. Because like Oblivion in V5 is like this interesting, and I'm talking about Necromantic Oblivion, not Lasombra Oblivion, but like Necromantic Oblivion in V5 is this interesting collection of powers that have been granted to the clan by the various bloodlines. Like Passion Feast is obviously from the Nagaraja, and anything that has to do with ghosts comes from the Giovanni. But going through and just picking out all the things that affect you physically in some fashion really is like the work you'd have to put in. I went through the Giovanni Chronicles, and I was like, how could I run this in V5? Because it would be such a good story. And the drama that V5 system, the dice system and everything puts on your characters would just be so much fun in such a dark climate. Now you could just ignore that and run everything as is and go Dark Ages. Here are the Hecata, and they have these, and just ignore the family thing. But like, I like to dig so far back into the lore of the World of Darkness and how like the Hecata searched for the Giovanni, and the Giovanni were being just assholes trying to decide which clan was going to be good enough to invite them in. And it's so much fun to look at like the layering of where the families came from in that grouping. Let's see. I wanted him to appear in my home game, but
A player created Zemitzi tattoo artist, and I wanted him to.
You know what? That's completely understandable. Kristoff's an awesome character, and he would definitely overshadow anybody, in my opinion. I want to play Kristoff. I really do. I want to play this guy, and I actually learned a lot about physical augmentation when it comes to like different modern primitive movements and things like that. And he's an interesting guy with the concept of like he could get conking, where it's where they remove they remove the exterior inside of the ear. They can get elfing, where they get clipped. You can get corseted down the back. You can get your tongue split. You can get all the piercings and tattoos. And he's a very fun character.
Skeleton King, Nagaraja equals Spectres and Extremes, expert in ghost lands. Not that I had Shadowland, Harbingers of Skulls, original Cappadocians, Mastery of Death, and Shadowlands, Giovanni equals.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. But there's so many other families attached to the Hecata. You got the Duncerns, and you got the Milliners, and you got the Zametti, and you got all these other things, and it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for a modern game. But in the Dark Ages, it was all about decomposition rate and controlling of the four humors, and it was the Cappadocians wanted necromancy. They wanted to be able to interact with the spirit world, because everything had to do with getting Cappadocius to the apotheosis. They wanted him to diablerize God, or at least he wanted to diablerize God. I don't even think his kids knew what he was trying to do. But anyway, you got to take away all things spiritual, like not religious, but like spirits. You have to take away all things spiritual when you're talking about the Cappadocians, because they just didn't have it until after the Giovanni came in.
There's many families, but I won't go into any detail. But I'm incorrect.
I can be incorrect. There's so many. I'm more talking about I'm just more talking about like Dark Ages, because there were no families back then. Because like the Duncerns, they were brought in because they outbid the Giovanni in the stocks, and the Giovanni were impressed by their money talents and also their ability to keep a secret, because they were a bunch of nasty cannibals. The Milliners came in New England. So again, the Americas. But again, all of that doesn't matter, because most of those families came about due to the Giovanni's involvement. And I'm talking pre-Giovanni, because the Giovanni were amazing in the Dark Ages, but they were a human family who used necromancy to spy on their enemies. The Cappadocians just didn't have that. And that's why they brought them in, because they wanted that. They wanted the talent. They wanted the resources that the Giovanni had. That's what I'm getting at. Is in Dark Age games, you just gotta pick through and find out who's gonna be there. Like the Nagaraja are not going to be present in the Cappadocians back then, because they were busy with the hand at that point in time. The Giovanni aren't going to be there, except for maybe a couple small lower members trickling in here and there, who are starting to like set up position for the ambush. So I mean, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I'm not trying to disrespect any of the families of the Hecata, because they all have their place. They all have their awesomeness in what they do. I am a huge fan of the Pisanov family, the Milliner family. Like they're amazing. I think they're all very cool.
In a Dark Ages game, you could have a young Giovanni that was embraced by another clan before Augustus made his choice, and is shunned after Augustus' embrace. Could totally confuse players.
I like that. I like that. The first Giovanni I ever played was in a Dark Age game. I took we were playing a Dark Age game. I was playing a Cappadocian. I took the 2-point merit Giovanni. And I literally came in with a steam trunk full of fabrics, and I was a merchant in this game, and I was selling, like in real world, I was selling fabric because it was a LARP. I was selling fabrics and turning them into cloaks for people, and people were buying their Dark Age characters' costumes from me out of character, in character. Like they would come in, and I was playing like a tailor merchant, and it was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed that. And for a little while there, everybody thought I was playing a Ventrue. But then they realized, like, oh no, he's playing a Giovanni, he's playing a Cappadocian. So it was a lot of fun.
The only who know that Usher's aim is his childer, which only knows to be Japheth.
That's very true. Only Cappadocius's or Usher's inner circle knew that he was planning on doing that. But that, I really feel that's what the Feast of Folly was all about, is like he sent everybody out to find the information, and then whoever came back with the information that he didn't like went underground. It kind of sucks. But yeah. I don't know. I love the Dark Age stuff, and you get to play in a game where the masquerade is not 100% like, it's not the most important thing. Like, you can break the masquerade and it doesn't break the game. Like, you might not even necessarily get blood hunted or anything like that if you break the silence of the blood. And there's even those characters who can set up. I was gonna answer comments and stuff on YouTube, but we got caught up in this Dark Age stuff. There are whole cities that, like, the matriarch or the patriarch of the area is a vampire, and everybody knows it, and they just, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to leave the city? Well, then they risk werewolves. Vampires are a lot more easier to deal with than a werewolf. So I don't know. Like, if you look at Transylvania by Night and stuff like that, it gives you a whole bunch of great story concepts and things that you can do with that.
Lazarus is a walking plot device himself, which he is indeed the sire of the Baron Zemeti.
Was Lazarus the one who was in Egypt?
Guess why it is stated to be plot character.
Okay, yeah, okay. I remember that. He was actually my favorite part of the Fall of Atlantis series, the 13 clan novels. Because the very first thing in the book is about how he's like living in Egypt and working with the Setites and stuff. So Lazarus is the dead man. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I always wondered if Zemeti himself was even a kindred. Like, are they just named after the Loa, or if he was one of them? Because there's plenty of like online family trees that you can get, but I don't know. There's so much.
He was left behind by his sire and his oldest brother, which he was having troubles with Setites. But there's more.
I mean, seriously, that character has like such an amazing backstory of everything that they went through. And like, I don't know, I really got the Giovanni storyline in the Fall of Atlanta series was just so enticing. Isabella Giovanni is amazing. First off, she's such a great fleshed out character, and as an elder, watching her blend in with modern society is just a lot of fun. But Chaz Tello Giovanni, or Chaz Giovanni Tello, or whatever the hell his name was watching his decline from a high humanity character just dropping steadily throughout the story, I was so invested, like in the end of that man's life. Like it was so magnetic. Like I couldn't put the book down. And watching as they were just getting closer and closer and closer to the dead man. It was like it's so interesting because like when I first started playing Vampire, the it was 2003. So those books were already out and all that stuff. But like when I first started playing, there were Zametti players. There were people who were playing Zametti in the same game that Giovanni were there, and the Giovanni would walk by and go, it's Zametti, whatever. You know, like they tried to ignore each other. You could tell there was some type of animosity and that they didn't like each other. But like this game is set in 1999, and it's very obvious that they had never seen anything like that. And that like the things that were picking the Giovanni off one by one. It was just so interesting. And it really seemed like it was going to lead to like the Harbingers, but like it really was just more about the Zametti, but the book didn't just rub it in your face. It was something that you had to piece together because you weren't following the creation of a clan. You were just following this one vampire's journey of redemption and revenge. And it was very interesting.
I wanted you to point the lines together and throw off some ideas of awful hardship. You will understand why he is plot character because it's the only two sides actually.
You know what? You're absolutely right. He did. I mean, I don't. In those books, I don't think he actually won, but he was actually making great heading towards it. Is the dead man in V5? Like from what I understand, the Baron is. But is the Baron or is the dead man, is Lazarus still hanging around in V5? I haven't seen him yet. The 13 novels got you into the game. I read the novels first and I wanted to play the game. You know, I was invited to play Vampire the Masquerade for the first time on a bus by a friend of mine named Devin, who he invited me and I just didn't go. And then I ended up finding my way there a couple years later, and same game, same people, still playing. It was amazing. You think Lazarus is the Capuchin? I don't know. I think the Capuchin's like really widespread. I guess he could be. I mean, maybe the Capuchin's just a mantle that gets passed down. I want to show you guys this if I can dig this out real quick. My 16-year-old got me this, and I love him. He's probably like one of my favorite things I got for Yule. Is this not the coolest little thing in the world? Like, I love him. I love him. Anyway, sorry, I had to show this guy off. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be joining me. I've got this idea for a new setup for a background and everything, and I'm pretty sure. Look at it. Look at his face. Look at his face. My kid's awesome. I kind of want to like. I know I never show him anymore, but I do have Doulahan still. I want to clean him off because he looks like he has a bowl cut and it's all wax from all the candles we've burnt on him. But I want to take Doulahan and like my Nosferatu and like make this into like the thing that hangs out with me while I'm working. Anyway, I'm a child. I just wanted to show off my toys. I got so much fun stuff.
Regains his brother's soul in it and use his oldest brother's body, Methuselah, and act as two characters play the same characters.
That's interesting. Are we still talking about Lazarus and are we still talking about Lazarus and the Capuchin? Okay, very cool. Very cool. I could see that. I could see that. I wonder because there's a lot of cults that see there's a lot of cults in VTM that see diablerie as a sacrament, like the cult of Mithras, when the older members feel that they have done enough and that they can't progress any further, or that they're going to fall to torpor and not be useful. They allow the younger members to diablerize them to make them stronger to carry on. And I wonder if the Cappadocians have anything like that, because that it kind of seems like it would fit with the whole concept of the apotheosis and all that stuff with the way that Cappadocius was working.
Wax bowl cut sounds like a terrible fate for a fetter. Oh, pissed off. What? Because Lazarus,
Vampire who's obsessed with shampoo.
Lazarus is one who unlaced the harbingers of skulls from Shadowlands. Give them.
You know, I never really considered that either. About like who released them or how they released them, because you take that stuff for granted. And this is what I was talking about when it came to Dark Age games, is that these clans did not have the capabilities that they do now. Like the Cappadocians do not have the ability that the Hekata have. There was no way to walk back and forth through the Shadowlands. V5, that's gotten nasty. That is a nasty ritual. In the old days, it was grab some chalk and draw a door, knock 3 times, and walk through. Now you have to kill a person.
Which they join the Sabbat, attacking the Giovanni to make sure they're under our control.
Yeah, the Harbingers joining the Sabbat, man. That's fun. That's just fun. I always wondered exactly why, and they didn't focus directly on the they didn't focus mostly on the Giovanni. They did focus on the Camarilla and the enemies of the Sabbat, but they definitely did steer the Sabbat into attacking the Giovanni, which is actually one of the big reasons why I like the storyline in V20, where the Setites and the Giovanni come together and create the Independent Coalition. I do like the Independent Coalition. I'm kind of sad that it's not in V5, but like we can put it in V5 if we want to.
Yeah. Trouble with the Shadowlands, Mortis mixed with Necromancy. You're welcome. The whole scam.
Well, what I was talking about, trouble with the Shadowlands and what powers that the Cappadocians didn't have, was like when you look at old school necromancy from the old books, you have the Sepulchre Path, which is what necromancy was when the Cappadocians were trying to recruit the Giovanni. It was interaction with Wraith. It was the ability to see them, to talk to them, to call them, to order them, to bind them, to do things like that. But after that, we get the Ash Path. And the Ash Path allows you to walk in and out of the Shadowlands and to interact with the Shadowlands. That right there is something that they did not have at the time. I always figured that it was kind of strange that the Harbingers didn't end up mixed up with the Black Hand when it came with that. Because, like, I could see them joining the Black Hand and then merging their way into the Sabbat from that. Like, that always made a lot of sense to me, that maybe after, like, a couple of centuries of wandering the Shadowlands, they came across Enoch and found out that there were other like-minded antediluvian worshipping vampires like they were. But I mean, the Harbingers were the survivors of Kamakali, were they not? I mean, maybe I'm mixing up my lore here, but I'm pretty sure they were the ones who were locked away by Cappadocius. So why exactly would they fight the Giovanni for destroying Cappadocius if they were upset about being locked away?
I kind of like the link of a necromancy and oblivion into obtenebration into oblivion.
So do I. I love that. I love that so much because they've condensed the cosmology of the Shadowlands. There were several Shadowlands in the old version of the game. There was, hey, here's where the dead live. There was, hey, here's a dimension of nothing but living shadows. And then there was like a couple of more, but they decided that they were just going to compress that stuff into one thing. And now the way that I usually explain it to people is there's two types of oblivion. There's oblivion that will mess with the people who live in the Shadowlands, which would be necromantic oblivion, and then there's oblivion obtenebration, which messes with the geography of the Shadowlands, and I really like that outlook on it. It simplifies things, but it doesn't really dumb things down.
I love how suddenly we're just talking about everything. I like it. Because they will make sure the Giovanni never rise higher. And guess who trapped in the Shadowlands in the first place? Usher. Agreed. But let's go to real. What the real reason why to do this? It creates a discipline just about dealing with dimensions, and there should be a variant that allows vampires to pass the gauntlet into the Umbra. Oh my god. I'm moving for comfort. So I know that I haven't gotten it up there yet, and I'm so sorry about this, but like, oh my god, the end of Black Sheep, man. When you guys hear that, oh, it's amazing. I agree. There should definitely be some kind of power that allows a vampire to tap into the Umbra. Maybe it should be like Protean amalgamed with Oblivion. You know, maybe if they Earth meld, what they actually do is they dimension meld instead. I don't see a vampire lasting long in the Umbra. I really don't. Everything's pure energy there. There's nothing to eat. I don't know. I always thought that when a vampire Earth melded, that they were going halfway between the worlds. You know, they were like kind of in the Umbra, but kind of not. I don't know. I think I might have read that in like the werewolf in the Clan Gangrel first edition book. Okay, Lazarus wanted things under control so he can into his plans to accomplish reading and unlock the power his sire was lost when he was embraced. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all with that. Wanting things under control to accomplish. I don't know. Do you really think, like, if Lazarus is the Capuchin, I'm gonna just throw this out there. Is he still attempting apotheosis? Is he going for what Cappadocius failed on? I really hope not. I really hope we don't see like a return to that kind of thing. I really excuse me. Sorry about that. I really love the direction that the family reunion storyline went into with Constancia and all that stuff. But I really hope nobody's trying to Diablerize God anymore. It's just got really annoying. I thought the Harbingers hate the Giovanni because Augustus took their chance for vengeance. Let's see. No, they hated him because of their founder and the fact that they have both chance to both gain their freedom and revenge on one condition. Told. Okay. I mean, that's not wrong either. And that's always what really confused me is like, are the Harbingers the ones from Kaimakali? Because if they are, I mean, why would they? But I don't know. I mean, blood bonds are a crazy thing, and it could very well still be active unless they were doing the Vaulderie. So I don't know. Everything goes all over the place. There's a book
a fragment. She will become a god in his own right. Oh no. There's a huge plot hole in the Oblivion themes because Abyss Oblivion consumes the shadows, the souls, and after that, stupid enough necromancers breach it. Lasombra dreams come true. I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, one of the things that I do is like if a Lasombra is using Oblivion, that explains like the opening of Nihils in the Shadowlands, like the rips in reality that suck them into Oblivion. Like that's why they open up randomly, because like a Lasombra might be happening to do something on the other side. Okay. When did vampires ever do what they were told just because they agreed to do it? I mean, they are ornery little beasts. The Capuchin isn't just Lazarus, but also his older brother. I told you about it. Restore his brother's soul from Augustus' son's body and use his brother's body for him to carry it. Oh, okay. Okay. I get it. So what you're saying is that the Capuchin is Lazarus's soul in another vampire's body. Okay. That makes a lot of sense because that does have a habit of changing like perceptions and stuff. Just imagine a wraith falling into a nihil and shouting, "Damn it, Damien." Oh, sorry. Damn it, Deacon. I see "damn it" and I instantly throw Damien in there. To sleep and let his body rest while his soul goes into the underworld, and finally they. Okay. I get it. I gotta do a little bit more research on the Capuchin. I had so much fun playing like just a straight out Hecata game. Like if anybody wants to play a game where like it's a single clan game, but you also want to have like the inner turmoil between having the different groups, the Hecata are really they're really like the way to go about that kind of thing. It's so much fun. It was by Legend of Lazar of Stygia. Okay. I got to do a lot more reading. I really do. Anyway, the damn it Damien thing is because of freaking David's character Damien. I mean, Deacon was his sire, so I mean, I'm sure you got that if you're saying that. Is the only game in V5 that's true Hecata are the only clan without a sect? Not really. Not really, because the first off, the Hecata are a sect. Right there. There's so many different families matched into that thing. But no, like if you're looking at like Amero-European vampires, technically the Ravno don't have a sect right now. They're kind of just working as runners in between groups. And also the my brain is just. Also, if you want to count the Salubri as a clan, they don't really have a sect either. But yeah, that's it. The Tremere also, I mean, the Tremere technically belong to the Camarilla, but like the Camarilla have been turning their backs on them like massively. Can I get a link here? For what? What are you asking for a link for, Skeleton King? Did I miss a thing?
Solo Tremere is also good. Lots of backstabbing.
You know what? The very first Total Clan game I ran was Tremere, and that was before V5. That was years ago in a LARP. What had happened was I was playing as my Zemitzi, Marcus, and I got deported. I got deported from the States. And instead of like telling me what was going on, my my retainer, which was a Grimaldi Revenant, packed me up into a crate while I was sleeping and mailed me overseas. I played him for a while, basically in the background, in between game sessions with my storyteller, because she wanted to see what I was going to do in retaliation to getting deported. So I actually took a step back and I ran my first game ever, which was a 7-player Tremere game where everybody came in as a newly embraced Tremere, who everybody had Path of Blood and everybody chose a different thaumaturgy path as well. And it was a lot of fun. I still get phone calls from players every once in a while complaining about nightmares. So I'm kind of proud about that. But we had a lot of fun. It was me, 7 players, and we ran Tremere, and there really wasn't much backstabbing because they realized that they weren't going to get out of what I was putting them into unless they cooperated. What we were doing was trying to sneak undetected into a Sabbat city to try to set up a covert chantry. It was a lot of fun. It was years ago, so I wish I had more details. But it was a good story with good players. I think it would have been a bad story if I had bad players. But it was my first attempt at running a solo story. I only been an assistant at that point in time, and now it's what I do for a living. I play Vampire the Masquerade for a living. That is so weird to say, just out loud. I'm still very happy about it that I tell stories. It's so much fun. So yeah, as I had said before, Skeleton King, I see that you're asking for a link, and I don't know which link you're talking about, if I was talking about a different book or something like that, or if somebody else had mentioned one. I think the idea of clans belonging only to one sect is kind of boring. Having preferences is good, but there are many reasons for licks to be part of different sects, in my opinion. You know what? There are no clans that strictly belong to one sect. There are sects that strictly don't have specific clans in it, but not the other way around. And even that's really rare when you stop and think about it. The way of looking at that is that, like, for every clan that you find in the Camarilla, you're going to find the same equivalents in the Sabbat, but the Sabbat don't acknowledge their clans. They have them. It's part of character creation. Like, you have it, but they don't acknowledge it because they're trying to cut their ties with their clan founder. Why would you call yourself by the name of your clan founder? That's why. The Anarchs, everybody who's in the Camarilla has an Anarch counterpoint. Everybody who's in the Anarchs has a Camarilla counterpoint. That's that. And then even when you look at the Hecata, the Zameti, if you look at the Setite lore sheets, there's when you look at the Zameti lore sheets, there's one called there's a point in a lore sheet, if I could get this sentence out, there's a point in a lore sheet called My Setite Friend, where it talks about how there are Zameti who are in the Church of Set. So that would be Hecata, who are in the Church of Set. So there is no exclusive, this clan belongs to this sect. There are rarer clans in different sects, but it's not exclusive ever. And when they say it is, they're just wrong.
You think you can be a Salubri Primogen?
Well, that would really depend what you mean by that, because a Primogen could just be the advisors of the prince. They could also be the clan leaders. How many members of a clan do you need to have a clan Primogen? I have always said that you need at least 3 members of a clan to have a Primogen, because at that point in time, you need somebody who's going to break a vote when it comes to things that are happening. And by definition, by Grecian definition of what democracy is, the Camarilla runs off democracy. They're not a dictatorship. They have a Primogen council that makes them a democracy. So it really depends. You're going to have a very understanding, very nice, and very open-minded prince who's going to allow that kind of thing. B, it also means you're going to need to have a clan to be Primogen of. So take that. I do like the idea of the Salubri Primogen. We were actually kicking around. I think it was me and my friend Gwen. I think it was me and my friend Gwen, who's in Thicker Than Water. We were discussing about how we could see the Salubri joining the Camarilla because of the Banu Hakim, who have had ties with them. There's so many reasons why, if the Salubri were starting to gain numbers again, they could actually fit within the Camarilla fairly well. I don't think they would appreciate the methods the Camarilla takes, but I could see them actually joining.
I'm sorry, but I didn't ask you to link. I meant allow me to link this video.
Oh, yes, please. You guys can put whatever you want in here as long as it's not offensive to anybody. Like, please share links to videos and stuff like that. I didn't expect us to have a near 2 hour at this point live stream of me just yakking at you. I thought we were going to be playing a game. But like, I am so up for the communication and interactions with everybody. It's great. Many young Ventrue turn the back on the cam because they believe they can take shortcuts and make money and influence and go more Sabbat or Anarch. What is funny about the Lasombra shift? Oh, you know what? The Ventrue have such an intense internal mechanism that, like, they're the scariest sect within the sect. Like, everybody likes to talk about how like crazy the Tremere were back in the day, but the Ventrue have always been pretty crazy. As for the Lasombra shift, it kind of makes sense. They're Darwinists. They've always been Darwinists. They believe in survival of the fittest, and the moment they think that the Sabbat's a sinking ship, they're going to jump. As for the Tzimisce jumping over to like primarily Anarch, some into the Sabbat, blah, 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 it kind of makes sense too, because I can kind of see them going, well, the Lasombras are gone. Who are we going to pick on now? Not to mention, I kind of see like the idea of the Panders rising up and going, drop your clan names, be who you are, don't be who your sire is. And the Tzimisce just have way too much internal self-pride to go with that kind of thing. My dog is barking up a storm, which means we probably have an Amazon delivery. Let's see. For Salubri, I wanted to correct V5 when they said 7 left. Sure. There are 3 or 2 4 Methuselahs on Ashira. But I know there's more like 200 in number. Sorry, I won't. It's okay. Keep your secrets. You know what? The Salubri numbers have always been off because there's bloodlines and there's legacies in Africa and stuff like that. Like there's so many Salubri left over. But like the healer cast and the warrior cast, I really wish that they had put more of a warrior spin on some of the amalgams that were in the companion. I also wish that there was more healing specific stuff. I like how the Salubri in V5 can be misconstrued as good guys. But when you look at it, what they're really doing is taking people's ability to have emotion towards their pain away. That's sick. They make it so that you can't deal with your stuff. The Salubri make it so that you are unable to fully heal internally, slowly but surely turning people into sociopaths. They are evil, regardless of how you want to look at it. In V5, they found a way to make the Salubri freaking dark. And I love it. I really do. I have a Salubri NPC that has now been interacting with my players that, like, he's such a nice guy and he has no idea how much pain he's causing. And I think that's the tragic truth of the Salubri, is that they should cause problems wherever they go. I wouldn't even say that they're... Why do I feel... I'm not siding with the Tremere. I'm not siding with the Tremere, but hear me out. I'm gonna hold on. We're gonna go. I'm gonna go on a little adventure with you guys real quick. Where is... Oh my God, my dogs. Where is the Vampire Nexus? I'm going to go to the Vampire Nexus. If you guys would like to join me, I am at... Oh my God. I am at app.demiplane.com /nexus/vampire. And I'm going to go into the discipline section. And I am going to go directly to the... Where is it? All? Oh, I'm dumb. That's all. Is it Auspex or is it Dominate? Here it is. Here it is. Oh, I have to sign in. I'm not signed in. They redecorated this place, and now I'm all confused. I don't know where anything is anymore. Game rules, powers. Specs. Is it unburdening the bestial soul? Dominate 3, prerequisite Obeah. Let's just go to Obeah real quick. Okay, here, it was a Fortitude 1 amalgam. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay, the vampire soothes the mental or emotional turmoil of the subject, restoring to them a modicum of steadfastness. It is especially effective on use on mortals, either to help them through momentary agitation or to calm them for feeding. So basically you numb them. It's anesthetic touch, unburdening the bestial soul. Or I'm sorry, this is Obeah. You make them not deal with it. Unburdening the bestial soul is the vampire spends a scene in seclusion with the subject and rolls composure plus aspects versus the humanity of the subject. For every success in the margin, they can remove a stain. So you can remove the guilt that those people feel for causing harm. kind of screwed up. Anyway, I'll drop that, but I'm definitely not on the side of the Tremere here. In my chronicle, we have a Banu Hakim prince, and he has an assigned primogen to speak for all the unrepresented clans, called the Voiceless Primogen. He's a very progressive outwardly. I like that. I think it's kind of interesting that the prince in the New York games, in like Shadows of New York and Coteries of New York, has a thin blood primogen. Thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. Best lie are the truth that no one wants to hear. Agreed. Gives a rumor about the soul stealing just a little bit. You know what? I can't get words out. The Salubri were just reworked, and I like it because you can play a good guy with the Salubri, but you can play a bad guy with the Salubri, and I love it. I love the fact that you can play a bad guy with the Salubri. I've always wanted to play an Infernal Salubri, but like an Infernal Healer Salubri. Okay. Let me get this straight. Why would have you trust someone? Why not even a real vampire says, oh, those are evil and soul thieves. We don't thing. Really exist. Look. Again, it's not the fact that I think that the Salubri are evil. I don't think any vampire clan is evil, but the individuals. And the way that the discipline here itself works seems to be removing humans' ability to deal with their shit. And emotional processing is a huge, huge thing for anybody to go through. And if you don't do it, you just become a shell. So that's why I think that the Salubri are pushing on a darker side than anything else. Hey, it's the Void. Completely off topic, but this came up in a World of Darkness Discord discussion. A group of driven hunters that are masterless ghouls from both game lines H5 and V5. How would you handle that? PC antagonist. You know what? This is not the first time I've seen that kind of thing come up. The idea of a ghoul turned hunter game sounds so much fun. The idea of a group of ghouls whose masters are all killed by hunters and now they're just like free to do whatever they want, but they still need that blood. So much fun. Ghoul has such a great way of handling things, and I would definitely say they would make great NPCs, antagonists, but like, oh my god, such a great game concept is to play unfettered ghouls who are just running around looking for their next fix. Tzimisce rituals are beautiful. I'm just going to put that out there. Also, hello. By Devour, the same clan, they lying about it. I'm not saying that the Tremere are good people. They're assholes. But I also want to point something else out. Because I like to jump on the whole like screw the Tremere train all the time too. But the reason why the Giovanni are still allowed inside the Hecata, and no, I'm not changing the subject. The reason why the Giovanni are still allowed in the Hecata is because they're young. They did not do what their elders did, and they didn't know why their elders did what they did. There's a lot of knowledge floating around in the out of character section of these games. And after 500 years, you see a lot of things that have just fallen by the wayside. The Giovanni and all of their history has been completely forgotten by everybody, except for the people who are just not talking about it. And I do believe that the majority of Tremere probably have no idea at all about the Salubri. I don't think that you can blame the new cast of Tremere for the sins of the father, if you can put it that way. So I don't think you can really blame the new Tremere on what the old Tremere did. Let's see. I love the interaction that everybody's having. Of course, you need a thin blood primogen. You always need a scapegoat. Oh, that's sad. Soul exchange. Watcher. Exchange the soul of an individual. Your roads, virtues, natures. Yeah. In my chronicle, we have a revenant ghoul of a prior prince that is trying to become a prince, and the next people fight to embrace him. Jeez. So is he a revenant that was ghouled, or are you saying a revenant / ghoul? Like what Jason, I have no idea what that means. That's basically, what do you mean by revenant ghoul? Like, is he a ghouled revenant, or is he just a revenant? I'm confused. This is not strictly stealing, but still a bit messed up. Yeah. The I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be stuck on defending my viewpoints on the dark, like the dark views of Clan Salubri, for a while now. I don't know. I always found it to be interesting that the Salubri were always held up on a pedestal as the good guys of Vampire Society, and I don't think that they deserve to be that much of a one-dimensional outlook. I do think that there are going to be individuals who get embraced, especially nowadays, now that the clan is becoming more available out there, that that they're not going to be the best people, and sympathy being their clan weakness, I believe, is it not? Is it not? I feel like I need to look this up. Salubri. Clan Primer. Vampire Clans. View Clan. I'm just hanging out on the Nexus now. I love the Nexus. Compulsion. Yeah, effective empathy. The fact that it says effective in it, it's not compulsion empathy, it's effective empathy. Effective empathy. When a Salubri suffers a compulsion, the kindred becomes overwhelmed with empathy for a personal problem that afflicts someone in the scene, seeking to further the resolution. The scale of the personal problem isn't important. The Salubri understands that sometimes suffering is part of a cumulative situation and not an isolated stimulus. Any action not taken towards mitigating the personal tragedy incurs 2 dice penalty. The compulsion persists until the sufferer See, they feel the need. They are pushed into helping people to solve personal problems. That's true. That is their clan's founder pushing themselves into the forefront, because that's what compulsions are. Compulsions are you feeling what your clan makes you do. And that does not specifically mean that you feel bad about something. And their disciplines, they're there to stop suffering, but sometimes, again, suffering is just made as a lesson. Suffering is made as a way to learn how to live through things. So blah, me, blah. That's what I'm saying. He was born a revenant and was ghouled for about 3 centuries. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Usually revenants start aging a little bit more after 300 years, so that makes a lot of sense. That's an old revenant. Then true. Bali bloodline that comes from Salat. Dude, I think the Bali are an off branch of the Salubri because like Salat went through some crazy shit and he really did kind of just like go in different directions as time went by. So I really do think the Bali are the Salubri. Let's see. I would have headed to some study plus game and try the rest. My body is a bit exhausted. Dude, get some rest. Get some rest. The Salubri were never good guys. They were just the most persecuted. That is how I see things too. It's just that the way that they're always played off. It's like with Werewolf. Everybody always plays them as angry murder hobos who don't actually have a background. They're just one-dimensional flat paper pieces that like they don't get any more depth than the depth of the character sheet. When you look at Salubri, they're the same thing, but they're like a complete opposite of it. They're also just no dimension in the character, and they're just like there to keep everybody alive. They're the healers, and nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. I like the way that they are now, though some one health level of damage to somebody else. You know, like with a physical touch, like you'll absorb their damage onto your body or something like that, in either willpower or physical. Who knows? I don't know. I think that would be interesting, and it would open up a lot of possibilities for play. Plus, I'm not really a huge fan of the blood fountain coming out of their forehead nowadays. But I think that only happens when they use their amalgams, not when they use regular disciplines. Because that would suck. Could you imagine having somebody walk up and flick you in the ear as hard as they could with fortitude, and your head just starts exploding? That would suck. Thin blood primogen in New York is also one of the most despised predator types. In the first game, he is revealed he was that he's a cleaver? So what? Cleavers don't bother me. Cleavers don't bother me. You can definitely make some mistakes as a cleaver, but you can also make some mistakes as an alley cat. Persecution leads to true humility, but built a lot of enemy that can simmer. Yeah, enmity. God damn. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble reading. No, you're absolutely right. Persecution can lead to humility, but it can also lead to angry thoughts. I think the Salubri ended up on their pedestal because they were invented as a poor clan that was diablerized by the Tremere. You know what? They were like, I don't know why, but like for some reason, the original White Wolf team just felt the need to have like two clans that were screwed from the beginning. Like if you look at it, the Cappadocians were screwed by the Tremere. Done. And it's kind of interesting when you look at it too, because the old ones, it's like the two mystical clans, like the two magic clans, the Giovanni and the Tremere, are both like usurpers in some fashion. But the fact that they're put on a pedestal because they were diablerized by the Tremere, that's actually kind of interesting. I can agree with you on that. But hear me out. Salat had to create the three founders of the Bali in order to keep the sleeper, which is the sleeper, awake. Destroy the world. You know what? You're not wrong on that one, but was Salubri aware? Was Salat aware that he was doing that, or was that just a lucky side effect? Who knows? I don't know. There's a lot of speculative history in VTM, and who really knows which way that it goes on that one? Not really sure. All right, so it's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock. We did not do at all what I was planning on doing with this entire thing. I do have to go and spend some time with my family. They are being awesome and allowing me to flitter off and have some fun. I think this needs to be more of a thing. I don't know, like I want to get the video game thing going on, but I also kind of just enjoyed this.
The only children of his own bloodline knows who he is and why, and is traitor. God bless you and God.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you first off for joining me on this like barely even announced thing that I was going to do that didn't even work the way that I wanted it to. But we got to like talk a lot about like fun lore stuff and books, and I got to play on the Vampire Nexus. I wish you guys could see what I was doing. I don't know. I'll figure this out in the background, and hopefully we can get like maybe a weekly game, like video game segment where we can just all hang out and talk and be dumb and play video games. Or if I can't for some reason, maybe we'll just do this once a week because this was a lot of fun.
Thanks for the conversation. You make great content.
Thank you. I'm sorry it's been so slow lately. The last few months have been really, really hard on me. You guys have been massively patient, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. But that being said, like I said, I need to go and hang out and with them because we're taking the day off. We're not doing anything. It's not a good idea to work really on the first day of the new year, you know, because it kind of just sets the precedence of what the rest of the year is going to be like. So today is a relaxation day, and I just wanted to spend time with you guys who I consider my friends in my community. And thanks for the conversation. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time on Our World of Darkness, no matter what it ends up being for the next one. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Wait, I always got to read this last one. Happy New Year. Guard yourself, warriors. Bring down the Andaluvians, Cainites, and be ever vigilant of the masquerade, kindred. Well said, Jason. Thank you all for joining me. Have a happy New Year.